Oh my goodness, guys. I'll tell you what. Ooh, that's a little high. I am 10 minutes late because I was editing next week's episode and got a little lost in the mix there. So, thank heavens, my husband was like, "Aren't you doing your Tuesday night?" And I looked up and saw the time and was just, "Oh, my brother. Whatever, huh?" So, anyway, I am very excited about it. A lot of lights on my glasses today. Oh well. Ugh, that's just horrible. All right. Well, we'll just have to do it blind. I can see shadows. That's great. Anyway, I'm so excited though about this week's episode. And you would think the one I'm late on is one that's just me. Oh well. But we are talking about how children feel loved, and it is so important. And it starts right at the beginning. And in fact, it starts even before they're born. And so we know that at 6 months into gestation, so when they're six, you're in your final trimester, the beginning of your third trimester, children actually start hearing within the womb. They can hear. And so they can hear those soft sounds. They hear the arguing. They hear the other children playing. They hear. So these sounds are kind of familiar to them when they are born. We know that they are born with a predisposition for language, the language that they will probably be speaking, unless, they're adult. Oh, and of course, now I get the hiccups. If you listen to me much, you'll know I get them all the time. I don't know what the deal is. There are days I'll get them 5 times in a day. But anyway, um, unless the family is moving to a different country with a different language, or if they are adopted into another country. But they are actually born pre-wired with a disposition to learn the language of the home because they've heard it for the 3 months before they were even born. And so that's very interesting to me. But they are hearing and feeling the stress of the mom. They're feeling the peace and calm of the mom. If the mom is feeling loved and safe, they're feeling that too. And so, really, how a baby is feeling loved is going to start even before they're born. But then, within those seconds after birth, those are kind of exciting times, and they're mushing and moving that poor little thing around, which is necessary, but they're cleaning him or her up. They're making sure that all their vitals are working properly. They're getting their APGAR scores and all of those things. But then that only takes just a couple of minutes. It doesn't take long. And if you can do that right away, that skin to skin contact is so important. And so that's their first feelings of, that connection with mom and or dad. If you've listened to me much, you've heard the story of my middle daughter, Rocky, and her experience in birth where dad had to do the skin to skin contact due to a medical emergency. So, and those two are very, very close. So that skin to skin contact can continue on for all throughout the first year of life. And so if dad's holding the baby, rip that shirt off and just do that skin to skin. Keep the baby, and you wrapped up so the baby's feeling warm, comfortable, and safe. And it's interesting that you'll find that babies will calm down faster if there's that skin to skin contact than if everyone's all clothed. And so that's just something there. One of the things that I really feel that is important to know with kids is they can't show love until they feel loved. They cannot feel loved unless they feel safe. And so that's something to really think about. And so if your kid seems rather panicky and whatever, check around and make sure in that moment, well, of course they feel loved. I love my child. That can vary from moment to moment, especially when they're really young. They can, if they don't feel safe, they're in a panic, they're in a free fall. And so that's one of the key things that you can do is make sure that they're feeling safe in their environment. And if they are not feeling safe, if you are not feeling safe, I can pretty much guarantee they are not feeling safe. And so if they turn to you and they feel safe around you, and you find yourself in a, a situation that may not be a safe situation, they will turn to you for safety, mom or dad, and then they are depending on you to protect them. And so that's just an interesting thing, isn't it? And so I go through, I know, I'm doing some more of my episodes now, and I enjoy doing them. And um, and I hope that you're able to see the love and the care and the excitement that I have for parenting, and how I just it's thrilling to me to have that opportunity to look at it and see what's going on in a family. It may just be a moment. So I have opportunities on different formats where I will participate in a workshop or um, an event. That's a lot of the stuff that I do. And a parent will come and say, I'm having this issue, and I can ask a few questions, and I am pretty much always able to say, have you thought of this? Or are you looking at that? Or, oh, well, this is actually um, typical. Your child is right on target for developmentally appropriate behavior. Doesn't mean that you need to put up with it, but you don't need to be frustrated with it. And we're going to move on to how can we help them through this developmental stage. And I love doing that. It just makes me feel good. And I think it helps other parents too. I think that as we find joy in our parenting experience, and we're looking for joyful moments as we are raising our kids are going to feel that joy, that you find joy in them. And what greater way to make someone feel loved, right? Have you walked into a room where uh, all of a sudden someone lights up, you know, hey, DJ, you're here. Oh, I'm so glad. And they'll break away from a conversation just to come and welcome you, or put their arm around you, or acknowledge you, and make sure that you feel welcome. And how does that make you feel, right? Well, we can do the same thing for our kids. And so, one of the key things that I believe is so important in making our kids feel loved is those first 5 minutes of when we've been away from them and we come back and see them. So, whether we've been at work, or we've been at the gym working out, or we've been at a meeting or a church thing, anytime that we've been away from them, for any period of time, and we walk in, those first 5 minutes are key. Mom and dad, it's important. And so you walk in and you're like, oh my goodness, I have missed you. Well, what if they got in trouble? They got in trouble. Are you still any less happy to see them? And so they will feel that, oh, I heard you had a hard day. Well, we're going to work this out together because I love you and I've missed you. And just seeing that face makes me happy. And I love, love, love you. And tell me about what happened. And you're going to approach it in a positive way. And then they're going to let their guard down, and they're not going to feel so defensive because they're not afraid of you removing your love from them because they got in trouble. We're going to work through it. If we need to do an apology, we can do that. If a teacher is very upset, or a caregiver is upset, or you've got another friend or a peer is upset because of the way something was handled, probably the best thing to do is to get them out of that situation and say, we're going to work on this and we will have something for you tomorrow. And so if we need to write a thank you note, if we need to make a phone call in the evening, or if we need to greet them the next day with something that is appropriate for the situation. And you've been able to talk to them and help them understand what was wrong. But we're not going to yell at them and get mad at them and humiliate them. I know I did it too, guys. So don't feel bad, because they, your child, or you've got another child that's crying or whatever. And, but you may not know the whole story. And, so I'm really big on this 360 learning. And so whether it's history, whether it's politics, whether it's just a situation, can you believe what so and so did in the neighborhood? And it's like, okay. First off, no, I don't want to know about it. But then secondly, you want to be sure that if you do have to hear it, the next thing you need to do is call the other person and say, hey, I heard this is going on. Can you fill me in on what happened? And that person feels validated. And you're going to hear the 360 view of what's going on. Give your kid that same benefit of getting that 360 view of what actually happened. And so maybe you need to call and talk to the teacher and say, can you tell me what your point of view is on what happened? And then, you may or may not know the name or number for the parent. And what is your child telling you? What happened? I'm just trying to get all the information on what's going on. And then when you have more information, more points of view, you're going to have a more appropriate approach to handling the situation. And isn't that showing love? Yeah. When your child is having a temper tantrum and you're saying, first off, they're not going to learn anything while they're in that state of mind. Right? And if you're yelling at them, you're just adding to the noise, and they're having a temper tantrum because, either they're trying to find some control, they're trying to get something they want, maybe they're feeling scared, maybe they're hungry, maybe they're tired, maybe they're, there's so many maybe there, right? Maybe they're this or that. But if you can just help them calm down, I want to help you. I don't understand what you need. And so let's take a breath. When you're ready, I'm going to stay here. When you're ready to tell me what you want and I can hear it, that's fine. But I can see you're really upset. So let's calm down. If you need to cry it out, that's fine. But I can't understand you when you're like this. I want to help you. When they hear those words, I want to help you. That may still take them a few minutes, but they will calm down faster because I feel safe now. Mom's not going to get mad at me. Dad's not going to get mad at me. They want to help me. Okay. Right? You've seen those moments, right? Okay. And so we're going to say, all right, I think, let me hear. Well, Johnny, okay. Yeah, I still can't hear. Let's take a few more minutes. I'm still going to stay here. I still want to help you. It's all right. We'll breathe. We'll breathe. Maybe rub their back a little bit, right? How many times have I done this as a teacher? Right? I want to help you. Let's hear. Okay. All right. And then when they can talk, we can work through it, whether we need to call another child over, figure out what was going on. But now they know I'm not here to get mad and frustrated. I'm here to help you. If I need to help you understand a different way than hitting, let's figure out a different way to help. Express what you need. Let's practice it. Let's see how we can make things work better. And then they go away feeling more empowered. They feel stronger and they don't feel afraid. And remember, they can't feel loved if they don't feel safe. And that goes even as they get older. Even as they get older, right? A lot of times when they're teenagers, they feel judged and disapproval and all of those things. And so, and just say, let's see if we can think of a better way. It's going to get more complicated as they get older. It's not as simple. And I know that. But we're going to get them used to this, feeling safe. Let me help you. I love you. Okay, let's work through it. And then we're going to enforce boundaries we don't hit. You know, well, he hit me first. Yeah, I get that. I get that. And sometimes they need to protect themselves. Okay, so we can run away. We can get mom or dad. We can, you know, there's different things that you can do, but let's work it out. Let's work it out. And you're doing it in a calm voice. And when you're in that calm voice, they can hear you, they can trust you, and you're better off. Got it? All right. It's a great podcast episode. I loved it. I love doing it. And so, I'm wearing my hearts for Little Hearts Academy and for the love, our love month. And so next week, I am talking to Dr. Sally, who is she has got her doctorate in early childhood. Isn't that great? And we're talking more about how children feel loved from that scientific point of view, from someone who's spent her whole life working and learning on that. And so that's what we'll be talking about next week. And hopefully I will be on time. So until next week, see you later, guys. Let's find joy in parenting. Bye bye.